Get the CNS fully primed here. Oh, there we go. We like that. Wow. Oh my gosh. Those Halo bosses are something else. Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of Project 800 feet, 90 miles an hour. I'm copying even more from Sam Sulik's video style with the drive into the session, in-car introduction and kind of just conversation, candid conversation style. Because I realized, for one, like, his viewers really like it because it's kind of chill and laid back, but also I think it'll kind of help me compartmentalize and separate talking through and visualizing my strategy that I'm going to try to execute upon for the session before I get out to the field, so that when I do get out to the field, it'll be a little bit easier to just focus on execution and feeling my body and feeling my technique. So but let me know if you guys prefer this format for the beginning of the videos, or if you prefer when I just kind of talk about things once I get out to the field, because I want to make sure I'm making it entertaining and also easy to watch for you guys. So just driving through the neighborhood here to the local field. Super excited to get back into pushing my speed and distance like I was doing during the Road to 700 series, which was a ton of fun. And the thing about the 700, those two 700-foot throws, especially the one that went 740, that day I had really good wind. It's pretty unusual to have that much wind in Florida. So I'm hoping that we'll still have some days during the springtime, so that when I do get into form, I'll at least have a chance of hitting 800, because 800 feet at sea level is, it's a lot to ask for, and I'm not coming in with some arrogant expectation that I'll be able to just pull it off magically, because it is a lot to ask of my body. But I think it'll be fun to at least have a high goal to work towards, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then the 90 mile an hour component was an estimation that I did from some back of the envelope calculations to try to figure out roughly what kind of speed would probably put me in position to be able to get an 800-foot throw. But you guys know just as well as me with disc golf and how much of a just how fluky things can be with wind conditions, and just the way the disc catches that little pan out phase of the glide as it starts to hyzer back at the end of the these distance S-curve shots. So I'm hoping if I can improve my 360 technique and my X-step technique to get my X-step to around 80 miles an hour and my 360 to around 90, it'll put me in position to where if I do have good wind and I do, you know, get lucky and catch one just right like I did with that destroyer that went 740, it'll have a chance of hitting 800 feet. But it's, you know, I gotta hope for the stars to align there. So I'll be happy to hit either 90 miles an hour or 800 feet. To do them both would be amazing, and I'd be super happy about that. But the interesting thing about my 360 especially is I get a lot out of it compared to my X-step. It comes a lot more naturally to me, and I only started throwing 360s in November, but I'm still a bit of a noob with them, and there's still a few things I'd like to clean up because I'm not able to really push my effort past like 70% on them. So I feel like I haven't really unlocked my potential on the 360s because I just need more reps, because I'm not practiced enough and not skilled enough. And the skill component to anything where we're moving really fast, like sprinting or disc golf, backhand throws, even forehand throws, baseball pitching, there's a lot of really specific timing that has to happen in a really short time frame. And there's just no way to replace that other than just to get practice reps of moving fast and building those motor patterns. And even the incredible thing too is when we do things that are really repetitive skills, some of the skill and movement patterns get ingrained into our spinal cord, so we don't even have to use our brain and our motor cortex to do those. So I don't know how much of that happens with disc golf because there's no literature on it for this sport yet, but I know with running and riding a bike, these kind of things that you remember for a long time, when you practice them enough, they can get ingrained into the spinal cord. So I'm hoping I can, you know, fingers crossed I can get some of the benefit from that, from just continued practice, because I am still a bit of a noob with the 360s, and there's a few things with my X-step I'm not super happy with yet, with kind of how I'm using my lower body sometimes when I try to get up to max power. It's a little bit inconsistent with how I use my feet and my hips, and I think I can continue to improve my plant step to try to get my foot a little bit more closed so that I can brace with more of my glute and less of my quad, because if we plant with that toe open, we're relying on the quadricep. I'm gonna have to hold this tripod so this doesn't get destroyed on this speed bump here, and this next one too. But when we plant with the foot open, we have the thigh rotated forwards. We're relying a lot on the quadricep to provide those braking forces for our body mass. Rather than when we plant more closed, we can get into the glute and the posterior chain a lot better, which are much, much bigger, stronger muscles. So I think if I continue to improve my flexibility in my hips and my overall specific strength from more repetitions and more flexibility work throughout the week, I can hopefully try to get a little bit better with those things and get more out of my body with my X steps and also with my 360s. So it's gonna take a lot of stuff to hit 90 miles an hour. I know there's been a few 90 mile an hour throws with like lightweight putters where they were just kind of throwing straight into a net, just power gripping a thin putter, like 120 grams or so. If you guys are familiar with what the highest speed you've seen with like a near max weight driver, or we'll say like 165 gram plus wide rim driver, I feel like Wiggins is the best in the world. Like him and Anthony Barella, I've seen them throwing in the mid 80s, which is incredible. Like those guys are absolute beasts. Maybe some guys have gotten close to 90. You'll have to comment some videos or something if you've seen some references for that, because I definitely would like to kind of see what the benchmark is out of curiosity. And I know Simon threw 100 with like a dog style thing, a dog catch frisbee or some kind of lightweight frisbee. He threw 100 into a net, which is crazy. I remember that video back in the day. But to get a wide rim driver, which I'm hoping these bosses are going to work out, these Halo bosses. And actually there was a fellow on Reddit that helped me out with disc selection. I think he's called the Boss Man, and so I reached out to him because I knew he had a really powerful sidearm, and I wanted to see what he thought about something that would be more overstable than my beefy Star Destroyers, but also have really good glide, because I wanted the fastest possible disc with the most glide and the most stability, because if I'm getting up into the 90 mile an hour range, even like a Halo Star Destroyer or a beefy destroyer, I just know it's going to turn into an absolute upside down roller on me, because even with my tailwind on that last Road to 700 video, those things were all turning into sky rollers except for my two beef max meat hook destroyers, which were the ones that ended up throwing over 700 feet. So I'm hoping the Halo bosses, I'm going to try them out today. It should be fun, but I'll have to put that guy's name up on the screen if I remember to do it in editing. So thanks to you, man, for helping me with the advice there. And I did some research into trying to like actually find some kind of subjective, maybe semi-quantitative analysis of what is actually the most aerodynamic disc, because the speed ratings are all over the place. And I think the Boss came out in the mid to late 2000s. When it was, I want to say it was either the first or one of the first 13-speed discs before this whole 14 and a half speed rating existed. And I made a spreadsheet. It's in the trailer for this series. And I kind of just like found a bunch of 12 to 13, 14-speed discs. And the Boss and the Latitude 64 Ballista were actually the fastest I could find based off of the sharpness of the edge, which is rim configuration, minimizing that, getting as close to 26.0 as possible, which is the PDGA minimum. And then also rim width and rim depth, which I did the arctangent of the depth over the width to get the slope of the, if it were to be a right triangle, which is just a simplification of the rim profile, to get that angle of rise where the profile of the disc has to separate the air. And the Ballista, the Boss, and one of the MVP 14.5 speeds were really the only ones that like felt like a truly 14 speed. The Wraith and the Destroyer were both very close with my semi-quantitative equation that I had come up with. I really should have, I'm actually an aerospace engineer by training, and what I should have done is I should have got a model of the discs, like a 3D scan, and done some CFD, computational fluid dynamics, but it would have been so much work. And just knowing I can get factory seconds with the Boss for cheap in Halo Star, knowing they're beefy and have glide was a really nice deal. And the factory store has awesome customer service. They actually sent me pictures of the profiles of their 165 to 170 gram Halo Bosses, which was super cool. So I was already a good customer of theirs, but they earned me even more with that customer service. So thanks again to them. So Anyways, I think I'm kind of rambling on here, so I'll try to get out to the field. I just did my full warm-up at home, which is in my part 3 tutorial video in my instructional videos from the previous series. Did the exact warm-up that I outlined in that, all 14 exercises exactly as demonstrated. So now my body is physically prepared, my muscles are activated, and now I can go out to the field and measure out my cones, and then go through my 50-foot to 250-foot stand throw progressions with the putter before I get into the full throwing. So I'm gonna head out there and I will see you guys in just a moment. All right, finally out here at the field. Got my cones measured out from the first one's 100, and then it goes up 100 every time up to 600. I'm not expecting to throw super far today. This is gonna be more of a kind of laying some groundwork, getting some quality reps in. It's a little bit chilly and it's not much wind at all, so I'd be happy honestly to hit 75 miles an hour and 600 feet, just kind of cruising through and working on technique. So I'm gonna get started. I wanted to start including my warm-up progressions with my putters so I can kind of show more of that, since I haven't had it in a video since that really old one back from like September. So gonna start off by throwing to the 100-foot cone with all 5 AVRs, DX AVRs, and then I'll kind of progress up as I go. Just trying to make it feel really easy and controlled. All right, grab those, and then I'll do a set to 150 feet, and I'll just come back, save time, so I'll leave the cameras rolling. So I'll just throw back towards my bag area from 150. Still trying to feel as easy as possible. I'm trying to get the disc to where I'm aiming with as little effort as possible. A little bit of a headwind here. A little short. Wow, that thing did not like that wind gust. Oops. Try to get some spin on these. That's tricky. These super beat up AVRs. Great training tool, but really hard to throw in these conditions. Especially if you're an amateur with accuracy like me. But it's getting better. Getting better over time. I didn't really calibrate my power level enough for the going from like 7-mile-an-hour tailwind to 7-mile-an-hour headwind. But hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit more of a feel for that as time goes on, so that if I do ever get back out to the course, I'll be more prepared. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the same, but up to 200 feet. Still trying to make it feel just as easy as the last 2 sets. Probably just reaching back a little bit further, a little bit longer pull. Still trying to keep it low effort and very smooth and relaxed. Skip up there nicely. That's a little short. That's okay. It's probably going to hover out to the left too far. Should be pretty close there. Oh, hit the cricket bowling grass thingy and checked up hard. Oh, wow. That was a bit of a bummer of a throw. I'm gonna go grab those and then we'll start out with our full standstill throws in a moment here. All right, so now I'm gonna go into my full power or close to full power stand throws as my last progression before my X steps. I've been trying to learn. I started last week practicing with the power grip on putters. I had been fan gripping them. But I was just never really happy with how the fan grip was working with nose angles and release cleanliness. So I'm gonna practice some more and see if the power grip with these putters is viable. So just fair warning, these things might, this could go horribly bad with these releases, but I'm gonna try to at least give it an honest effort for a couple weeks so that I can power grip everything all the way up to drivers for consistency's sake. So see how this goes. Yeah, that first one got yanked. Felt kind of good though. Just gotta release it with more hyzer. Just gotta hyzer flip that and we're good. Now they're not really liking that torque though. Kind of wobbly on release. See if I can find some cleaner spin here. It's a little better. 350 or so. Still a little more turned over than I'd want. Oh, I got the nose up on that big time. It's going. I'll try that again next session and see if the power grip, if I can make it work, but if I have to switch back to fan grip for those, it's no biggie. So at least these Axiom putters will come out a little cleaner. I'm gonna try the power grip with these two. get into my X steps here. Just trying to make it feel easy. Make sure I'm using my glutes properly. And see, the Proxy was like, that thing flew incredibly stable with the power grip. Love that thing. And the Envy is going to be a beefcake then. So we'll put it on a hyzer. Make sure I'm pulling deep into the power pocket, accelerating the disc late. It's going to be left, but it's definitely out there. 350 plus. All right. I'm throwing the buzz again because I want to throw one of these 500 feet. I thought it'd be a cool goal. Just a straight classic buzz frozen rope line. Not going to throw a 500 here, but I want to re-acclimate to learning how it flies. Ooh, that's low. If I can hyzer flip that and put a little more height on it, that'll be a beauty. All right, now we got the drivers. I'll throw the bosses last. I'm expecting them to be absolute meat hooks on lower power X steps. That's what I'm hoping for them, at least. We'll do the destroyers first. Yeah, skipped out to, probably landed at 415, skipped out to 450. Try to put this on a better line. A little bit of a right to left wind, pushing these hyzers left, just adjust my aim point. That should be better. If I get a skip. Not a big skip, but a little bit close to the 500. We'll call it a 480 foot hyzer. I don't even know how overstable this tie-dye disc is. Should fly similar to the last couple, but only thrown it a couple times really. So let's see. Make sure I'm loading into that glute here. Getting that disc deep into the power pocket like a Garrett Gerthier or David Wiggins. That looks a little more accurate. Spiked in around 430 or so. I will throw one of these a little bit less stable destroyers, see if it flips up to flat. I'm still not that familiar with how these flies, so I'm hoping I guess it right. I'm gonna let this lady, she's going on a walk. Really nice day out today. I'll give her a couple minutes to pass, so there's no pressure for her to speed up and no chance of me hitting her. Finally starting to warm up. I feel like my core temp's a little elevated, so I'll go ahead and strip off my last layer of warm-ups here. I forgot to mention it, but I got an iPhone 12 Pro, so I can record with the 2x telephoto with 4K from the rear. So that's an upgrade from my DSLR. So I'm hoping that comes out well. I can do a 4K upload to YouTube with higher bitrate limitation or higher bitrate allowance. So I'm hoping that I can do some crop and pan for you guys to make the disc a little easier to see. And then I got a great deal on this little mini clip-on mic, and I have a recorder because I wanted to have all wired. So I actually have a belt. Really don't even notice it when it's on. And that'll afford me the ability to even record my sprint workouts in the future, which would be super cool to be able to sprint on the track while mic'd up. So that's something I might have to try. Anyways, let's pump this destroyer out. See if we can get to 550 or so. Shouldn't be. A little hyzer flip maybe. Oh man, that's way less stable than I expected. I'll throw the Santa Claus orange one with a little more hyzer. See if we can get a better result. And that one's beefier. I'm all over the place. Oops. All right. The moment we've all been waiting for. It is boss time. Halo boss, 165 to 166. I'm expecting a super meat hook. Let's see. Put it on a hyzer. Well, they definitely go far. I threw it a little bit too low. Put it a little bit higher this time. All right. Wow. I like that flight. That's pretty much exactly what I wanted. And the Halo Star Plastic has really nice grip. It's my first time with one of these discs. Feels like my thumb really clamps down on it nicely. Yeah, these things are beefy. That's incredible. But they'll hyzer bomb to 450 plus, no problem, which is what we like. I'll go grab those discs, and I'll be right back. All right, got the discs, now ready to power up here. Might be time for me to find a putter that works better for my warm-ups than the AVR, because I think the rim's just not compatible with my hand shape. Because those Axiom discs, especially the Proxy, not much more stable than the AVRs, but it just comes out so much cleaner that it doesn't turn over on me at all, even at high power. So might have to find something that has a little bit of a better rim profile for me, so that I can get a little bit more accurate feedback. But nonetheless, we're going to keep throwing the Axiom putters from the X steps, and then we'll do a couple 360s on this set as well to try to continue to improve the skill of the 360 technique, get more reps in the tank. So I briefly looked at my form on the last set. I need to work on keeping the reach back a little bit wider. So I'm gonna adjust my setup position, push my elbow out a little bit. It's a nice pre-shot checklist that can give some free gains. I've had a lot of luck with giving it to my clients and the other people that I've coached. So I'm gonna try that and see if I can get a deeper, longer pull on the disc. And instead of being here on my setup, I'm basically just gonna raise the elbow up and keep the disc at the same spot. So I'm just kind of moving out here. That way I have a little bit more space to pull in, especially as the wrist starts to supinate as I pull through. A little bit safer for the shoulder too. Use the rotator cuff less and the rear delt more. Huh, just fell out of the sky. Bummer. That's probably my fault for not putting enough height on it. Axiom Envy. Ah, nice and nose down with that power grip. I like that. See if we can hyzer flip this buzz nicely here. Although it's a little bit hard for me to focus on shot shape when I'm so focused on mechanical changes, so no promises here. It's a little bit turned over. It's drifting a lot. I went 400, but it's 100 feet short of the goal. Maybe we'll get there one day. I'm gonna throw some of my destroyers on hyzers, or hyzer flips, some of the less stable ones. And then I'll do a 360 on the more stable discs. Oh, get up. Stay up, please. Bummer. Form felt good on that. Getting this elbow up and out a little bit in my setup position. Loading into that front side glute, leaving the upper body behind. Seems to be a good sequence for me right now to think about. Kind of misstepped a little bit there. Popped the nose up. That stuff's bound to happen when you're working on form. Let's see here. All right, I'll throw one more destroyer for my next step. That thing is beefy, tell you what. Felt like I got a hold of it and it didn't turn. All right, let's launch some 360s. Rehearse my footwork real quick, see if I remember how to do this. Yeah, we should be good. Kind of came out early. Close to not 600, it's close to a little over the 500. Needs a little more height. Make sure I get those feet switched around in midair and still load into that front glute and posterior chain. Things aren't staying up very long, kind of falling out of the sky. Let's see what these bosses can do. Oops. I think I hit the power pocket really early there. That thing's a monster. It literally went so far off to the left, but it still went kind of far. That's nuts. All right. Let's put this on a better line here. Wow, that thing is unbelievably stable. I might have to beat these in a little bit to make them work for me. See if we can clean up the technique on this next one. just a little bit, smoothing it out. I'm probably a little off balance, might be driving off the rear heel a little bit too much. Oh, there we go, we like that. Wow. Oh my gosh. Those Halo bosses are something else. Go grab those and I'll be right back. Tell you what, those bosses are the real deal. They go far, they're stable. I think if I do ever get up to 90 miles an hour, they'll be perfect for the job, especially after seasoning in a little bit out at the field here. The one, I know it was on a 360, so I wouldn't really call it a golf shot, but that last one, I went 620 and it was basically a golf height and width S-curve shot, which is my longest throw ever on such a line, especially given the conditions out today. So I was pretty happy with that. They're definitely beefy though. The one that hyzer off to the left was like a 550 foot, just like noob hyzer off to the left. So I did look at my form again, and I can tell I'm a little rusty with the 360s, so I'm gonna try to keep them relaxed today. I'm also gonna shift my aim point slightly to the left so that these things don't drop out of the sky on me too much. So I'm actually gonna aim, I don't know if I'm lined up with the camera properly, a little bit left of the cones here on these shots. Gotta make sure I don't let my reach back creep up on me again. I saw it happen on a couple of those throws, or at least I could feel it. Make sure I'm practicing good habits. Just a little low, but I'll take that. Happy with the nose angle there. Little putter hyzer out to 370 or so. That Envy is a great disc. Got the buzz here. Have not been able to put enough hyzer on that today, unfortunately. We'll get it one of these times though. Just gonna visualize my X step here, what I'm trying to work on. Spend a couple moments so I can get the most out of these next few reps, because they'll probably be my last reps for the session. All right, see if I can execute. Keep going. I like that. I'll have to measure that. That looked like it was pretty good. Finally got some glide out of that destroyer. See if I can repeat it with this. Just get a little bit more snap. I like how that looks. That was for sure over 550. It might have been close to 6. We'll have to see. All right, I'm actually gonna 360 the rest of them here. And work my way up in power through these next 5 or 6. Try to find my footwork and timing. Make it less pressure on myself. Thing's a beast. Might have gone off the left side of the camera there, but it hyzered off to 550-ish or so. And my middle finger is getting beat up from all these high power throws. Try to smoothen this out. Tip of the finger starts to get this bruising on it. Maybe I'll have to bias more towards the index finger and see how that feels. Feel a pinch between my index and thumb. A little nose up. A little bit sloppy. See if we can correct that on this next one. Oh, would have been good if it had some more height. Gonna roll off to the left 3 miles. Just kidding. All right, you know what? This is our last 3 throws. Probably hasn't been the most entertaining for you guys because I haven't had a lot of monsters out here. So try to make it somewhat entertaining here and throw these pretty hard. Since I'm fully warmed up, it should be safe. Get the CNS fully primed here with a little chimp hop. Let's see what we can do. Oh my gosh, it wasn't, didn't turn over, but it went far. See if I can pull that disc in deeper and get more spin on it. Almost have a straight headwind at this point. The wind really shifted. It's coming from my right side now. Whew. A little bit nose up, but it's going though. Holy cow. I'll have to measure that one. Ah, it's sloppy. One before that was pretty decent though. Timing was off. I was throwing as hard as I could. And it's bound to happen. So, all right, cool. We'll wrap it up there. I'm pretty happy with some of the things I was able to kind of sense and feel out with my X step, especially. 360 was a little hit or miss, but I still have a lot of room to improve on those. So I'm not expecting every session to be, you know, monster success. But I appreciate you guys watching and stopping by, and I think this series is going to be a really fun time for us, and just going to see what I can push my body to and learn more about technique, because that helps tie back into my coaching business and helping other people, and also applying what I learned from my clients. So I think it's going to be a good time overall. So thanks again for stopping by. Hope you guys take care. We'll see you next time.